Hello and welcome everyone. Um, so today I'll be explaining you a very good problem um, for the recent Codeforces Round 692, problem number C, peaceful rooks. So let's jump into these statements. So you're given n by n chessboard, rows and columns, okay? So you were actually given n by n chessboards, and there's a chess piece which is called rook. As we know, rook only moves to like in one turn it can move any number of cells vertically or horizontally, which means if there is a rook here, so it can only move in one move. It can go to the place horizontally or vertically from its position. Okay, so that's what rooks is all about in chess and in normal chess games too. So there are m rooks. Okay, now there's a condition that they have given: m is less than n, placed on the chessboard in such a way that no pair of rooks attack each other. There are no pair of rooks that share a column and a row. Okay, so what does it mean by is that the input format will be given such that no rook will be in any attacking positions to one another. Okay, now in one turn you can move one of the rooks any number of cells vertically or horizontally. Okay, we know that. Additionally, it should not be attacked by any other rook after the movement. So you also have to give the move, and you also have to be careful about that. No other rooks is in attacking positions too. So we're asked to given the minimum number of moves required to place all the rooks on the main diagonal. So what is the main diagonal in a matrix? Okay, and by a matrix, the main diagonal is always, this portion is always called the main diagonal. Okay, this is the main diagonal. Okay, so that's all about. Okay, so we're given t-test cases n and m and m rooks. Now they have also said that it can be proved that this is always possible. Okay, that's actually true because m is always less than n. Okay, so if m is equal to n or greater than or equal to n, it won't be possible because the rook always moves. So if there is a rook here, no rooks can be in the same row and in the same column. So you gotta be careful about that, and that's exactly why m should be less than n. Okay, m means the number of rooks that we talk about. Okay, so so we're given an input format. Okay, so how should you approach this problem? We have to just input the rooks in the main diagonal. So in one approach you might think, okay, I'll just check whichever is which of the rooks are in the main diagonal. I won't count them as the number of moves, and the ones which are not in the main diagonal, I will just count one. That might come as an intuition, but it's not always actually the answer. Okay, let me give you an example why this won't work always. Okay, let's say we have a rook here. Okay, and we also have a rook here. And we also have a rook here. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now you check that. Okay, I will if you go on the on that approach that I just told you about recently, just if you notice that Okay, I will just go this rook, and I will just move this rook to here. Okay, if I move here, it's not gonna be a legit move because um, there's a rook here also in the first column, so it won't be a valid move. So we can't do this. If we move, so for okay, for this rook, this is the main diagonal position. For this rook, this is the main diagonal position, and for this rook, this is the main diagonal positions. Okay, so you can't go always that, okay, if it's not in the main diagonal position, I'll just count the number of moves. That won't always possible. Yes, always you have to at least give one move if the rooks are not in the main diagonal position. Okay, so you would always count that initially, that I will always have to use at least one move if they are not in the same diagonal position. Now, what should we do? So remember, if something like if this sort of problems, I mean, if this sort of situation occurs, what should we do now? So if you think a bit more about it, or if give a complete analysis, I think you will get that, okay, we'll always have at least extra one move that we can do to make this possible. How? So let's see. If I move this rook to say, if I move this rook to here, this move, let's say this move comes to here first. Let's say this move, this rook comes to let's say this rook comes to here. Okay, let's say he came to here, and then this rook comes to its original main diagonal position, and then this rook comes to its own diagonal position, and also after that, that rook comes to here, its own diagonal positions. How many moves did we how many moves it just took? Let's just count it. One, and for this it was 2, 3, and 4, right? Just 4, which means we only needed one extra move. We always, that's true for all cases. You need one extra move. Okay, so if you also analyze more, that if you let's draw the coordinates. Okay, so first is 1, 2, and then it was 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This was 3, 1. Okay, 1, 2, 2, 3, and 3, 1. So doesn't that look similar in graph? Actually, it is similar to graph. If I draw this as a vertices, and I make make an edge, and I make every coordinate as an edge, how would that look like? Let's just draw it. 1 is positioned to 2, and then 2 is positioned to 3, 3 is positioned to 1, which means it actually goes down to a cycle. So extra move will always be added when there is a cycle. So we can count on it as a graph, every coordinate, and every coordinate as an edge, and we'll find out if there is a cycle, then it will always be an extra move. So I'll take you to the code part. This is just a simple DFS function to find out how to calculate the cycle. I will also have to check, look, N and M, I took P and Q. I mean the coordinates, I will count them as an edge of a graph, and I will create that if they This is the initial conditions. If they are not equal, then always I have to use at least one move, and for the extra moves I will just check whether these components have a cycle or not. For each of the nodes I will check to you can Google about it, how to calculate the cycles in a graph with several components. I did exactly that. Here I'm checking the cycles, how many cycles in the total graph components, and finally I will just get the answer. That's how you're going to be doing this. So it was a very fascinating problem. I really liked it, and I think you should do it on your own. I also got wrong answer, and I could not do that in contest time too. So it was very good problem, and I hope you will enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and okay, so goodbye.